So we've got data managers sitting on some planet out there. Let's talk about data managers. These are people whose worlds have been rocked in the last 10 years. They used to be in charge of data compliance systems because, let's be honest, that's what data was used for. It was used as a compliance system that data flowed one direction, as the video said, and money flowed the other, and who cares how great the data is because no one's going to use it anyway. You guys are the exception. But that's the truth. In policymaking and accountability, nobody was really caring how good the data was because it wasn't being used. So these folks were basically running compliance shops, and it was their data, and it's ours. You know, we got to control this. You got practitioners, who I'm overstating this, but they are way out there. I should have put them on Pluto, although Pluto's not a planet, that getting access to what works and knowing how to translate it, they're not there. You know, I had an occasion last week, here are my kids in the speech, at the parent-teacher conferences, and I was talking to the gentleman who's in charge of our NWEA test, and he's been trained, he's great on this. I said, so what do you think about Seattle and the whole backlash, and the teachers are, striking on it? He's like, well, what's going on? And I'm like, don't you read Ed Week? And the fact is, they're not reading your journals, they're not reading Ed Week. So we're so far out, and these are the folks on the front line who are trying to put into place what works. They're starved for information. How do we present this in this way of tapping into it? And then you got policymakers, my favorite group who I work with all the time, who have totally bought into data is power, data-driven decision-making, return on investment, we're there. But they're not really sure how to use this data and how to translate what you're doing either. And we make it really hard. And I'll put you here in the center of this conversation, because I know I'm getting a free lunch for this. So, but let me describe, I see you all as having been satellites. You're kind of rotating around these worlds. And you're not really getting off on any planet. You're kind of just going around, and you're sending signals. Sometimes they're bouncing back with no one receiving them. And sometimes you're asked to translate between the worlds and have it go.